So in the previous class we started atoms and we discussed Thomson model. What are the postulates and what are the drawbacks we discussed in the previous class. Now Rutherford model also started, but we discussed alpha particle scattering experiment. What are the observations and what are the conclusions we discussed. And now we'll discuss impact parameter in this class. What is the impact parameter? What is the distance of closest approach? And Rutherford model postulates and drawbacks we'll discuss in this class. So generally impact parameter means I'll select an atom. So it is an atom I am choosing. It is central part of the atom which is called a nucleus. So in a previous class we discussed alpha particle experiment. So it is for example central part of the atom which is called a nucleus, and I am choosing exactly I am drawing one straight line here which is passing through the center of the nucleus. So this line is passing through the center of the nucleus like this, a straight line which is passing through the center of the nucleus. So positive charge represents the charge of the nucleus, positive charge, and it is a straight line which appears to be passing through the center of the nucleus. Now I am choosing one alpha particle. So it is an alpha particle I am choosing here. So generally yesterday class I mentioned what is an alpha particle. So if you take a helium atom, so its atomic number 2 and a mass number 4. So helium atom contains 2 protons, 2 neutrons and 2 electrons. From helium atom, if you remove both the electrons, then that helium nucleus is called as alpha particle. So helium nucleus contains how many protons means 2 protons, and also it contains 2 neutrons. So neutrons are completely chargeless, but the protons are positive charge. So the charge of the nucleus is positive. Correct. Now one alpha particle I am selected here, and alpha particle is initially moving along the straight path like this. It is the path of the alpha particle, or which is moving along the straight path like this. If there is no force of attraction or repulsion between these two, so generally alpha particle has to travel along the straight path. When there is no force of repulsion, alpha particle can move straight path. But because of the repulsive force, nucleus positive charge, alpha particle also plus, so like charges will be repelled. So because of the repulsion, the path of the alpha particle was deviated like this. So with some angle which is equal to scattering angle. So in the previous class we discussed scattering angle lies between 0 to 180 degree. When alpha particle moving far away from the nucleus, so there will be no deviation. It can move straight path. But whenever alpha particle moving directly towards the nucleus, so angle will be 180 degree. Now here, whenever alpha particle is moving along this path, so between the initial velocity vector of the alpha particle and the center of the nucleus, there is some perpendicular distance. So this perpendicular distance can be called as the impact parameter. Where to where you should take impact parameter? When we are sending an alpha particle closer to the nucleus in a straight path like this, because of the repulsive force, alpha particle was scattered with some angle theta. Now the perpendicular distance between the center of the nucleus to the initial trajectory of the alpha particle or initial path of the alpha particle is known as impact parameter. It is impact parameter. What is the use of impact parameter means we can find the path of the alpha particle, or what is the shape of the trajectory of the alpha particle, like a straight path or is exactly retracing or having a perpendicular, we can understand the trajectory of the alpha particle. Now the charge of the alpha particle is equal to, we know Q alpha is equal to nothing but 2E. E is equal to charge of the proton, and it is one nucleus of gold or silver something element having a charge is equal to ZE. So why you should write ZE means any element may take the chemical symbol of the element X, carbon C, oxygen O, and gold AU. Like that you should write symbol like this. So Z always indicates atomic number and A always represents a mass number. So what does the Z means here? Number of protons. For example, this new element nucleus contains Z protons. charge of one proton is equal to plus E. Two protons, 2E, three protons, 3, Z protons, nothing but it should write ZE. So any nucleus you may take the charge formula plus ZE. For example, it is alpha particle given, here you should write 2E. Carbon nucleus given 6E. Oxygen given atomic number 8, 8E you should write. Same model, its charge is equal to, should write ZE, charge of the target nucleus. Now I'll write the formula for impact parameter. B is equal to, we can show the formula, ZE square. So it is equal to ZE square into cot theta by 2, where theta is equal to scattering angle, divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. It is a constant value related to the electricity concept. 4 pi epsilon naught, it is a constant, into Ke, where K is equal to kinetic energy of the alpha particle. In this formula, impact parameter symbol is a B. We can write E is equal to charge of the proton. We know the value 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Z is equal to atomic number of the target. So Z is equal to atomic number of target nucleus, like gold or silver or copper or whatever target you selected, atomic number of the target. And theta is equal to angle of deviation or scattering angle. Theta is equal to scattering angle. And Ke is equal to kinetic energy of alpha particle. Kinetic energy of alpha particle. Kinetic energy of alpha particle. And here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is a constant value. Should write 9 into 10 to the power of 9 farad per meter or Newton meter square per coulomb square. Constant values. And remember this formula. No derivation for PU level. For complete exams, remember this formula carefully. But how the impact parameter and theta related here? So generally, whenever B value increases, cot theta by 2 also increases, but theta value decreases. Because cot and theta both are inversely proportional. So cot cos almost you can take same only. For example, if a theta is equal to, I'll take a 0 degree. Whenever theta is equal to 0 degree means, what is a cot 0? Cos 0 by you should write, which is equal to nothing but 0 you should write. Whenever cot theta by 2 is equal to 0, but theta is equal to, should theta by 2 equal 90. Then automatically theta is equal to 180 you should take. So that's why here I am choosing. If impact parameter B is a 0 or B equal to 0. So impact parameter B is equal to 0. So that means check, observe carefully. From the center of the nucleus to where the alpha particle is moving. So this distance I am taking a 0. So this distance 0 means how the particle is moving? Exactly towards the nucleus. So in that above formula, impact parameter B equal to 0 means take all the values left side. So cot theta by 2 will get 0 only. Then I'll write here cot theta by 2 is equal to 0. Whenever cot theta by 2 is equal to 0, then theta by 2 is equal to 90. Because cot 0 means we got the value theta by 2 90. Theta by 2 90 means theta is equal to 2 into 90, 180 degree. So from this you have to understand what is the path of the alpha particle or shape of the trajectory of the alpha particle. Whenever impact parameter 0 means alpha particle is directly moving towards the nucleus. Then with what angle alpha particle is moving? Scattering 180. That means the alpha particle exactly retracing its path. So moving backwards. For example, when a B is a maximum, if the value of B is equal to maximum, I am taking the highest possible value I am taking. Maximum means I'll take this total value, if take left side, maybe 1. Whenever B is equal to maximum, then cot theta by 2 is also equal to maximum. What is the highest value of the cos or cot means equal to 1 only. You should take maximum. or here I can write maximum. When cot theta by 2 is equal to maximum, then theta by 2 is equal to 0, because cos 0 equal to 1. Same model is should write theta by 2 0. That implies theta also equal to 0 into 2 means also 0 only. Now check here. Whenever the impact parameter is a very large, means I am taking a alpha particle is moving along this straight path. It is a path of the alpha particle. So what is impact parameter? We are saying large value. So here in this case, impact parameter is a maximum. Whenever impact parameter is equal to maximum, what is angle of scattering? 0. So that means alpha particle without deviation, without scattering, moving along the straight path. Observe carefully. Whenever impact parameter B is equal to 0, alpha particle is exactly retracing its path, moving back. Impact parameter is a maximum, alpha particle moving without bending or without any deviation. So if you can substitute other angles also, like 30 degree, 40 degree, 50 degree, and by using this impact parameter, we can understand the shape of the alpha particle or path of the trajectory of the alpha particle. That is only impact parameter. So if a kinetic energy of alpha particle given and atomic number of the gold nucleus given, we can calculate impact parameter also. For example, kinetic energy of alpha particle is equal to 5 mega electron volt, and alpha particle is moving with an angle theta is equal to 60 degree. Then what is the impact parameter? We can substitute and we can calculate. But you have to use logarithm book. What is the cot theta by value should calculate, and you have to substitute and you can calculate. That is about impact parameter. How we can write simple definition? The perpendicular distance between initial velocity vector of alpha particle, perpendicular distance between the initial velocity vector of the alpha particle and the center of the nucleus, is called impact parameter. By using impact parameter, we can find the trajectory of alpha particle. Trajectory means path or shape of the alpha particle, path of the alpha particle. The trajectory of the alpha particle. So it is also related to Rutherford alpha particle experiment only. And one more I'll give. Put the heading distance of closest approach. Distance of closest approach. So simple derivation is there for this one. What is the meaning of distance of closest approach, and how to derive an expression for this one? In a PUC level, 3 marks question may be asked this one. Derive an expression for the distance of closest approach. And in the competitive exams, numericals will be asked generally based on this one. What is the distance of closest approach means? I'll select one atom, and the central part of the atom is called as nucleus. I am choosing it is the nucleus, and here I am choosing the atom. So this dotted line represents the atom, and the central part is called as a nucleus. And here the nucleus having atomic number Z, and the charge of the nucleus is equal, you can write plus E. 1 proton means it is equal to 1E, and 2 protons 2E. If Z protons are there, we should write ZE. So charge of the nucleus equal to write ZE. So it is the central part of the atom which is called nucleus. and the charge of this nucleus I am taking a Q is equal to plus Ze, where E is equal to charge of one proton and Z is equal to atomic number. So the total charge is equal to plus Ze, you should write. Now I am choosing one alpha particle. So already I mentioned what is an alpha particle? Helium nucleus which contains 2 protons and also 2 neutrons. So it is an alpha particle. Alpha particle, and the charge of the alpha particle Q is equal to plus 2e, because it contains only 2 protons. That's why plus 2e you should write. But it contains Z protons. That's why it is equal to Ze. So both are having a positive charges. One is equal to Q1 and the second I'll take Q2. Now whenever alpha particle is far away from the nucleus and moving with a speed is equal to V1, what type of energy alpha particle has? Kinetic energy. So when alpha particle is far away from the nucleus, it is having a kinetic energy. So it is equal to Ke, for example. And whenever same alpha particle is moving towards the nucleus like this, alpha particle moving along the straight path and it is moving towards the nucleus. When alpha particle is moving towards the nucleus, what we can expect generally? Alpha particle positive charge and the nucleus also positive charge. So between these two positive charges, there is a force of repulsion. Whenever alpha particle is at infinite distance, so there will be almost a zero force and a zero potential energy. But alpha particle having only kinetic energy. Whenever same alpha particle is slowly moving towards the nucleus, so the force gradually increases. So nucleus try to repulse the nucleus. So force gradually increases means automatically velocity gradually decreases, and the kinetic energy also gradually decreases. Whenever kinetic energy decreases, electrostatic potential energy gradually increases. At a certain moment, what happened means almost the total kinetic energy of alpha particle becomes zero. So means velocity of the alpha particle is equal to zero, and hence kinetic energy of the alpha particle also equal to zero. Whenever kinetic energy equal to zero, for a moment alpha particle will be stopped, and then it will retrace its path, exactly moving backwards in the same path with 180-degree angle. At that moment, the distance between the center of the nucleus to where the alpha particle has stopped, so this distance can be taken as distance of the closest approach. So further the alpha particle cannot move towards the nucleus because of the greater repulsive force. And for example, if you are sending with more and more kinetic energy, then what will happen? Alpha particle can penetrate and will move into the nucleus. Then we cannot calculate the radius of the nucleus or distance of the closest approach. So where you should take a distance of the closest approach means when an alpha particle is moving towards the nucleus, it's because of the repulsive force, its kinetic energy gradually decreases and electrostatic P gradually increases. At a certain moment, the total kinetic energy of the alpha particle becomes zero, and it is completely converted into electrostatic P. At that moment, the alpha particle stopped for a while and returned back, or retracing its path. Then the distance between the center of the nucleus to the point where the alpha particle stopped for a moment, that distance can be called as distance of closest approach. That is only a simple definition. Now I'll derive the formula for R naught. For this, we take a charge of the alpha particle. We can write Q1 is equal to plus 2e. Why should we write plus 2e? Means alpha particle contains 2 protons. Charge of 1 proton is equal to plus e. 2 protons equal to 2e. Next, charge of the target nucleus like gold or silver or whatever nucleus given, we should write a plus Ze, because the nucleus contains Z protons. Charge of 1 proton equal to plus e, Z protons equal to plus Ze, should write. Now distance R can be called as R naught, which is called distance of the closest approach. This only we should derive the formula. Now when alpha particle is moving towards the nucleus, the total kinetic energy of the alpha particle is equal to, we are saying P. At the moment we are calculating the distance of closest approach, total kinetic energy of the alpha particle is converted into electrostatic P, should write here. So Ke will be equal to Pe. But we have Pe formula in electrostatic P, not gravitational. Gravitational we have mgh formula is there. But the electrostatic Pe in secondary we have given 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. It is a constant value. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 into Q2 by R. You should write. It is equal to electrostatic Pe formula. Whenever two charged particles are separated by some distance, what is electrostatic potential energy between the two particles means it is a formula. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is a constant. Q1 charge of the alpha particle, Q2 charge of the nucleus, and R distance between the nucleus center and also alpha particle. Now I'll write Ke is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into here Q1 already we have given, right, plus 2E into Q2 also given equal to ZE divided by R place I am writing R naught. Therefore Ke is equal to here 2 into ZE into E is equal to ZE square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into R naught we should write. But we want to calculate R naught. That's why take R naught left side and Ke right side. Distance of the closest approach R naught is equal to 2 into ZE square by 4 pi epsilon naught into Ke. So it is a formula for distance of closest approach of the alpha particle. Distance of closest approach. If a kinetic energy decreases, R naught value gradually increases. If a Ke value increases, R naught value decreases, inversely proportional, both. So here we can write different formula also. Ke place may also write a half mv square in formula, or Ke is equal to P square by 2m. We can write one formula. So here from this, I'll write a how R naught and Ke related. I'll write one formula. R naught is inversely proportional to kinetic energy of the alpha particle or projectile. R naught proportional to 1 by Ke. From this, write R naught 1 by R naught 2 is equal to Ke2 by Ke1. If any ratio numericals asked, we can substitute and we can calculate. R1 by R2 or R naught 1 by R naught 2 is equal to Ke2 by Ke1. And one more, I'll write here. Ke place I'll substitute a half m v square formula. In place of the Ke, I'll write a half mv square. One more formula. But from the formula, kinetic energy of the alpha particle is equal to half into mass of the alpha particle into speed, half mv square. So I'll substitute here. Therefore, R naught is equal to 2 into ZE square by 4 pi epsilon naught into half m into v square we can write. If you want, you can take this 2 numerator also. Write 2 into 2, 4. 4 ZE square by 4 pi epsilon naught into mv square. Only can write mv square. Or R naught is equal to 4 ZE square by 4 pi epsilon naught into mv square. So no need to cancel 4 because 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught there is a constant value 9 into 10 power 9. That's why don't cancel. Here check how R naught and v square related, inversely proportional. So we can write one more formula. Right? From this formula, R naught is inversely proportional to square of the speed of the alpha particle. That implies R naught 1 by R naught 2 is equal to V2 by V1 whole square you should write. By keeping all the parameters constant, distance of the closest approach is inversely proportional to square of the velocity of the alpha particle. If alpha particle moving with more the speed, then distance will be decreases. Next, one more formula. From the formula, Ke is equal to P square by 2m, where P is equal to momentum, linear momentum, product of mass and velocity. In this basic formula, I'll substitute Ke is equal to P square by 2m. Therefore, distance of the closest approach is equal to 2 into Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught into Ke is equal to, I'll write a P square by 2m. Understood? No? In place of the Ke, we are substituting a P square by 2m. If you want to take this 2m to numerator also, I'll write here, or R naught is equal to 2 into 2, 4 into Ze square into m divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into P square. Distance of the closest approach and linear momentum of the alpha particle relation. From this formula, R naught is inversely proportional to square of the momentum of the alpha particle. That implies R naught 1 by R naught 2 is equal to P2 by P1 whole square, you should write. Distance of the closest approach is inversely proportional to square of the linear momentum of the projectile by keeping all the parameters constant. So more the momentum of the alpha particle, less be the distance of closest approach. Sometimes question may be asked, in alpha particle experiment, by keeping all the parameters constant, the momentum of the alpha particle is doubled. Then what happens to the distance of closest approach? Whenever momentum is doubled means P place you should write 2P whole square. So 2P whole square is equal to 4P square. So that means R naught will be 1 by 4 times. Automatically 4 times it decreases the value. So this type of numericals will be asked. So that is the distance of the closest approach that you should write. So sometimes when alpha particle is passing through a potential difference V, in place of the Ke we can write QV also. Charge into potential difference also we can write. Or any charged particle moving through a potential difference V, then kinetic energy is equal to formula Q into V, where V is equal to not speed, potential difference. Then we can write the formula R naught is equal to 2 into Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught into QV. Also we can write. V is equal to potential difference, where the projectile is accelerating or moving. So from this various numericals will be asked, you can calculate also. I'll give one simple numerical problem. Try this one. Question, right? If the kinetic energy of alpha particle, if the kinetic energy of alpha particle is 5.5 MeV, means a mega electron volt. If kinetic energy of alpha particle is 5.5 MeV, then find the distance of closest approach. Then find the distance of closest approach. Distance of closest approach of it towards gold nucleus, towards gold nucleus. In bracket write Z is equal to 79. If the kinetic energy of alpha particle is 5.5 MeV, mega electron volt. Mega means 10 power 6. 1 electron volt also we know the value 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joule. Then find the distance of closest approach of the alpha particle towards a gold nucleus with atomic number 79. Now you have to solve this one. So given data, kinetic energy of the alpha particle given 5.5 MeV, mega electron volt. Convert this value into joule. That is equal to 5.5 into 1 mega electron. Mega means 10 power 6. 1 electron volt 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. Use calculator and simplify this one. 8.8 into 10 to the power of minus 13 joule. It is a kinetic energy of alpha particle. And atomic number of the target element also given gold 79. And the charge of the alpha or charge E is equal to, we know, 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. And one more, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square or farad per meter. And calculate R naught. So now only we derived the formula. Distance of the closest approach R naught is equal to, so check the related formula or suitable formula. R naught is equal to 2 into ZE square by 4 pi epsilon naught into KE. You should use this formula. That is equal to 2 into Z value 79, E square 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 whole square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught value also we have given 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught how much? 9 into 10 to the power of 9. This value also write in numerator only 9 into 10 power 9. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. But KE we calculated already 8.8 into 10 power minus 13. Or we can do one more also. Here 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 whole square is there. We can write this value also. That is equal to 5.5 into 10 to the power of 6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Why we are writing like so? Here whole square 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Here 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 get cancelled. Now numerator 9 into 2 18. 18 into 79 into 1.6. 9 into 2 18 into 79 into 1.6. 9 into 2 18. 18 into 79 into 1.6. 2275.2 into 10 to the powers. How to check? Minus 19 plus 9 is equal to minus 10. 10 to the power of minus 10 divided by 5.5 into 10 to the power of 6. 413.67 into 10 to the power of, take 6 also numerator, minus 10 minus 6 equal to minus 16, or adjust 2 digits 4.14 round up the value into 10 to the power of minus 14 meter. Distance of the closest approach of the alpha particle. If you adjust 2 digits here, 3 place I am rounding off and I am writing a 4. 4.14 into 10 power minus 14 meter. So this type of numericals will be asked you how to solve. And one more question I'll give. Try this one. In alpha particle scattering experiment, alpha particle scattering experiment, if the momentum of alpha particle is a tripled. Momentum of alpha particle is a tripled. Then what happens to the distance of closest approach? Then what happens to the distance of closest approach? What happens to the distance of closest approach? Try this question. So you should calculate the distance of closest approach. Read the problem carefully and check the related formula. Check what they given. In alpha particle experiment, momentum of alpha particle is tripled. Initially, I'll take momentum of alpha particle P1 is equal to P, and distance of closest approach, I'll take R1 is equal to R0, or R01 is equal to R0. And the next momentum of alpha particle is a tripled, that is equal to 3 times 3p. Then what happens to the distance of the closest approach? Question mark. So check the related formula. How R0 and momentum related? Inversely proportional to square given. So R0 inversely proportional to square of the momentum. R0 proportional to 1 by P square. Therefore, R02 by R01 is equal to P1 by P2 whole square you should write. So 3 values given, you have to substitute here. That is equal to R02 by R0 initial value is equal to P1 is equal to P and P2 is equal to 3P whole square. Your square P value get cancelled. 1 by 3 whole square is equal to 1 by 9, which is equal to 1 by 9. Take R0 right side. R02 is equal to R0 by 9. So check here. Whenever momentum of alpha particle is a tripled, then its distance of the closest approach decreases by 9 times. R0 by 9. So this type of questions in a competitive exams will be asked generally. Or sometimes if a kinetic energy is doubled, what happens to the distance of the closest approach? If a velocity is halved, what happens to distance of closest approach? Will be asked questions. So it is about alpha particle scattering experiment. So up to now we discussed alpha particle scattering experiment. So diagram, what are the observations, what are the conclusions, what is how to find the number of scattered alpha particles, and what factors it depends, impact parameter, distance of the closest approach. We discussed up to now. By using all these concepts, Rutherford given some postulates is a model. What are the postulates of the Rutherford's model of atom? You can write a Rutherford's atom model or model of atom. Rutherford's atom model. Rutherford's atom model. After studying the observations and the conclusions of the Rutherford's alpha particle experiment, what are the postulates and what are the drawbacks of this model? So what are the major postulates of this model generally? In observations, we came to know generally most of the alpha particles are moving a straight path without deviating or without bending, because most of the atom is empty. Most of the atom empty. And what is the shape of the atom? Spherical with a size 10 power minus 10 meter. We can write according to Rutherford model also, atom is having a spherical shape with a size 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. So atom is spherical with size 10 to the power of minus 10 meter equal to 1 angstrom unit. Most of the atom empty, so it is clear, but most of the atom empty means where the total mass and almost all the positive charge is located. In Thomson model, like watermelon or plum pudding, the total mass is uniformly distributed. It is proved as wrong by Rutherford, but what he is saying, the total mass and almost all the positive charge concentrated at the center of the atom, which is called nucleus. So total mass or almost all the mass, almost all the mass, not 100% because electrons also there. Almost you are saying means nearly more than 99% of the mass of the atom, almost all the mass and total positive charge, almost all the mass and the total positive charge of the atom is concentrated at its center, concentrated at its core or center, which is called nucleus. So the central part of the atom where the total positive charge and almost all the mass of the atom located or concentrated can be called nucleus. So sometimes question may be asked, who discovered nucleus? Rutherford. From which experiment he discovered? Alpha particle scattering experiment. It is a nucleus. Next, one more point. And what about electrons? Electrons are not inside the nucleus, correct? Electrons are occupied outside the nucleus. So, and they are not at rest. So, they are moving in a various circular orbits, circular path. That path can be called orbit. So, electrons revolve around the nucleus in various circular orbits, various circular path. That path only Rutherford called as orbit, various circular orbits. And why Rutherford thought electrons are moving in a various circular orbits? Why he thought like so? Generally, the central part of the atom we are saying nucleus, almost all the mass of the atom and a total positive charge is concentrated only at the center of the nucleus like this, correct? So means nucleus is having a more positive charge and also heavier part, it is nothing but. And for example, if electron is at rest, then what will be happen? Electron is having a negative charge, but a nucleus having a positive charge. So this nucleus was strongly attracted by the positive charge in nucleus. Then electron may fall into the nucleus, but electrons are not falling into nucleus. That's why what Rutherford thought, electron is not at rest. Electron is moving around the nucleus in the various circular orbits like this. If electron would be at rest, then they will be pulled by the nucleus and there is a chance of electrons to fall inside the nucleus. That's why he thought electrons revolve around the nucleus in various circular orbits. But why electrons are revolving only in the circular orbits? For that also he given one reason. Any particle want to move in the circular path, which force is responsible? Centripetal. In the first year also we have circular motion concept is there, like planets or whatever may take, whenever a particle is moving in the circular path, so the necessary force required is nothing but centripetal force. But centripetal is a pseudo force, false force. By its own, it will not create. So something has to provide that force. For example, whenever a vehicle is moving in the curved path, the necessary centripetal force is provided by the friction between the road and the tires of the vehicle. And whenever we are tied one stone to the string and we are rotating in the circular path, here the necessary centripetal force is provided by tension in the string. And for planets which are revolving around the sun, how the centripetal force provided means there is a gravitational force between the planet and also sun. So that will create a centripetal force. Same model, when electron is revolving around the nucleus, which force will provide the necessary centripetal force means there is an electrostatic force between the nucleus and electron, which is given by the scientist Coulomb. So later chapters we can discuss that one also. So here we can write one point. For circular motion of electrons, for circular motion of electrons, the necessary centripetal force, circular motion of electrons, the necessary centripetal force is provided by Coulomb's or electrostatic force of attraction, between the nucleus and electron, That's why electrons are only moving in the circular path. So we can also write here electrostatic centripetal force is equal to formula mv square by r, but electrostatic force is equal to formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into charge of the electron is equal to q1, charge of the nucleus is equal to q2 by distance square is equal to r square. So we can use this formula also, q1 q2 by r square, general formula. And one more also we have to remember, it is a atom. The size of the atom we already given 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. And the nucleus is a very small, because most of the atom empty means almost nucleus is a very small, nearly 1 lakh times 10,000 to 1 lakh times smaller comparing the atom. It is a nucleus with the size 10 to the power of minus 14 meter to 10 to the power of minus 15 meter size of the nucleus. So check here, if you compare both, which one is bigger and which one is smaller means nucleus is a very small comparing to the atom. For example, if you take a radius of the atom by, I want to divide the radius of the nucleus, RA, radius of the atom, RN, radius of the nucleus. So radius of the atom is equal to, or size of the atom 10 power minus 10 meter. And the size of the nucleus, I'll take a 10 to the power of minus 15 meter approximately. If take a minus 15 to numerator, plus 15 minus 10 is equal to plus 5. So which is equal to 10 power 5, means 1 lakh. So size of the atom is equal to 1 lakh times that of the size of the nucleus. So atom is nearly 10,000 to 1 lakh times bigger. For example, if you want to find volume, so I'll take for example a volume of the atom by volume of the nucleus. But what is the volume of the sphere formula? 4 by 3 pi r cube. We have one formula. I'll write here volume of the atom 4 by 3 pi r a atom cube by, for nucleus 4 by 3 pi into r nucleus cube we should write. So these two get cancelled, which is equal to radius of the atom by radius of the nucleus whole cube we should write. Now check here, radius of the atom by radius of the nucleus is equal to 10 power 5. If you substitute here, it is equal to 10 to the power of 5 whole cube. 5 3s are 15, 10 to the power of 15. So volume of the atom is equal to 10 power 15 times the volume of the nucleus. So that's why we are saying in the entire atom, only the complete atom, almost all the atom is empty. Only the central part having a very small portion. So where the total mass and total positive charge and almost all the mass of the atom located, that's only called as positive charge. So these are the important postulates of Rutherford's model. But here there are some drawbacks also. What are the drawbacks means? I'll write 1 or 2 drawbacks of the Rutherford's model. It is also 2 marks or 3 marks question may be asked. Write the drawbacks of Rutherford's model of an atom. Drawbacks or demerits. So one of the drawback of the Rutherford model, what he thought, electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbits, various circular orbits. So electron is not at rest. So electron is moving around the nucleus in the circular orbit. If electron is at rest, the electron may be pulled towards the nucleus and electron may fall into the nucleus. That's why he thought electron is moving only around the nucleus in the circular orbit. It is for example, Observe carefully the nucleus of an atom. It is the nucleus of an atom, and I am choosing one electron. So electron is moving around the nucleus in the circular orbit like this. So electron is moving around the nucleus in a circular orbit. It is an electron. So Rutherford thought electron should not be at rest. If it is at rest, what may be happen? Electron is attracted by the nucleus and it may fall into the nucleus. That's why electron is revolving around the nucleus. So at that time, one classical theory proposed by Maxwell. So electromagnetic wave theory, what he suggested means any charged particle, if it is in a motion, maybe circular motion or whatever motion we take, any charged particle is in a motion, it must radiate energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation. Same model, when electron is in a motion, what we can expect? Electron also should emit some amount of energy or radiation. If an electron completed one circular path, so whenever electron emitting energy means its frequency also decreases. Energy of electron decreases and the frequency also decreases. Once if the frequency of electron decreases, so the electron may not revolve in the same orbit. Electron orbit will be changes. So automatically the electron orbit decreases and it may move like this. So the shape of the orbit or the path of the electron orbit or radius of the electron orbit decreases like this. So electron is moving in this way. Again, after completion of one more circular orbit, electron is radiating energy and again the orbit will be radius decreases like this. So in each and every rotation, electron is radiating some amount of energy, should emit some amount of energy and the radius of the electron orbit should be decreased and finally what may be happen? Electron may fall into the nucleus. What is the shape of this one? Spiral. In case of the spiral binding is their books, same model spiral. So according to Rutherford, electron is revolving around the nucleus. He suggested the postulate like so. But electromagnetic wave theory proposed by Maxwell, what it is suggesting means any charged particle is in motion, it must radiate energy or must emit amount of energy. So that's why when electron is moving in the circular orbit, it also should some amount of energy. By emitting energy, the frequency of electron decreases and the electron radius of orbit also decreases. And the final electron moving in the spiral path and the final electron has to fall into the nucleus. Once if electron falls into nucleus, what will be happen? The total structure of atom will be collapsed. So there will be no structure of atom and no shape of the atom. But calculations are showing exactly there is a stability of the atom or structure of the atom. So that's why it is one of the failure or drawback. So Rutherford could not explain the stability of the atom. So one important postulate, Rutherford's model could not explain stability of the atom. This model could not explain stability of atom. So sometimes in theory questions it may be asked. What is a major drawback means stability of the atom, stability of an atom. So Rutherford's model could not account for or unable to explain the stability of the atom, one drawback. Second, one more drawback, Rutherford cannot explain or Rutherford doesn't explain about the arrangement of electrons in the atom. How the electrons are arranged in the different orbits. So also unable to explain. So this model not explained. This model not explained about the arrangement of electrons. Arrangement of electrons in an atom. That is second drawback. One more major drawback. So here, according to Rutherford, when electron moving in the circular orbit, it continuously emitting energy. That's why if you take the spectrum, if you take a photograph of this atom, and we can expect a continuous spectrum according to Rutherford. So the spectrum produced by and hydrogen and other elements are nothing but a continuous spectrum. If you take the photograph and how the spectrum will appear, it contains all the wavelengths without any gap or without any break. That is called a continuous spectrum. But what experiments are showing means hydrogen is not producing continuous spectrum. It is producing a line spectrum which contains a bright lines against a dark background. That is also one of the drawbacks. So he is unable to explain the spectral lines of the hydrogen atom. It failed, or this model, it failed to explain the spectral lines, failed to explain the spectral lines of hydrogen and other atoms. Hydrogen and other atoms. So these are the major drawbacks of the Rutherford's model. So what are the postulates and what are the drawbacks of the Rutherford model? So it may be asked for sometimes 5 marks or sometimes a theory question, 3 marks. So in tomorrow class, we'll discuss by using a Rutherford's model how to find an expression for radius of the circular orbit and how to find the expression for velocity of electron in that orbit, and also what is the total energy of electron in the particular orbit. We'll derive the formula, and after derivation we'll go for Bohr's model of atom. Okay, thank you.